From the Reporter, the paper of record for Delaware County's towns and villages, this is Delaware County Off the Record, a quick look at the latest county news. I'm Andrew Kantor, and this week we've got the county being scolded by a federal judge, new security in Walton's public buildings, Hamden's property values jumping big time, and more. So let's get to it. We'll start with Delaware County officials got a bit of a dressing down from a federal judge. The county is being sued by the Reporter's parent company for revoking the paper's status as an official county newspaper because some county supervisors didn't like some of the paper's coverage. Well, that's illegal, and the county actually put it in writing. So part of the lawsuit is the discovery phase, where both sides turn over documents like emails and text messages, and they also interview the people involved. You'd think that'd be easy, but the county has been dragging its collective feet, and the federal judge finally had enough. He called it, quote, slogging through quicksand, unquote, and basically threatened the county with default, meaning it would lose the case right there. All the Reporter's attorneys are trying to do is interview 3 county supervisors, Bud Gladstone, Wayne Marshfield, and Wayne Shepard, but the county has been ignoring their attempts to schedule the interviews. The judge said he was unimpressed with the county's excuses, and then he actually ordered the county to make the supervisors available and even set the dates. And that is just embarrassing. It'll be a little safer in the Walton Village Court thanks to a new magnetometer and a handheld metal detector. Those are standard tools in the big city courts, but they're still pretty rare in rural areas. The new tools were funded in part by a state grant, with the rest covered by the village. And it's all because of a new statewide guidance that's urging small courts, like Walton's, to take security more seriously, saying that, there have been incidents across the country where judges were attacked or weapons were brought inside. While Walton's courtroom does have a police presence, Judge Chad Hall said the new equipment offers extra protection and peace of mind for everyone in the building. But wait, there's more. Walton trustees approved a request from the same Judge Hall for a security upgrade to the Walton Village Hall, specifically a new surveillance camera system. The current one has some old-ass low-res cameras, and it only stores the grainy video it takes for like a week or two. The new system, which will cost about $5,200, includes 19 high-res cameras that actually cover more area, and they'll store the video for a few months. It'll even use the same wiring as the old system, so installation won't be too expensive, and that installation should be starting anytime now. Check this out. Property sales in Hamden have been so good lately that New York State recommended that the town reassess every property because those sales have been well above the assessed value. So the town did it, and boom, every property in town saw its value jump about 20%. But before residents freak out thinking that their tax bills are also going up that much, Supervisor Wayne Marshfield said the property tax rate per thousand, it'll be lower in the next town budget. Franklin was supposed to be getting about $1 million from the federal government to help pay for some pretty important upgrades to the Treadwell water system. But in case you haven't heard, the White House is cutting funding on everything it can, and that includes the grant the Treadwell Water District was counting on. Well, maybe. The thing is, no one knows what federal funds will be available, if any. The town's going to have to reapply for the grant, and that means the whole project is kind of up in the air. The alternative to federal funding would be a grant from the state that would cover 60% of the cost, leaving residents to pay the remaining $548,000. That would be either directly or via a 30-year loan from the state. Right now, though, no one seems to know what's going to happen next or who's going to pay for the project. It was a picture-perfect day on Bramley Mountain as more than 60 people gathered to finally cut the ribbon on a long-lost Catskills landmark, the newly restored Bramley Mountain Fire Tower. It took a lot of people and a few years to make it happen. The Friends of Bramley Mountain took the lead, but it took help from volunteers, local officials, and even the State Department of Environmental Protection. It didn't take long after the ribbon cutting for hikers and school groups to climb those stairs and take in those panoramic views from the top. It is a long climb, but it is worth every step. If you're a fan of small government, you are not going to like this story. Walton is going to start cracking down on lawns that have grown too tall. Forget about No Mow May. Code Enforcement Officer Zach Haverly, he's going to be out there, ruler in hand, warning any residents with grass more than 8 inches tall. And gentlemen, please keep in mind that he's going to be measuring. So your 6-inch lawn, it's safe, even if you like to think it's actually a full 8 inches. On the other hand, Walton trustees voted 3-2 against creating a noise ordinance. That's been a contentious issue for months now. Supporters, they want police to have a tool to use against people who create disturbances at night. Others say it's a solution in search of a problem. There just aren't that many complaints, and it would mean a lot of extra work for police who have to go witness a noise violation when it happens. Considering the close vote, though, 3-2, you can expect that this will come up again. 11 property owners in Hobart are about to be very, very sad. They're not just behind on their property taxes, they are 7 to 10 years behind, and that means it's foreclosure time. Sort of. Foreclosing actually isn't that simple, and it can be expensive, so Delaware County usually starts the procedure, and then the village can sort of piggyback on it. But once the county gets its share, it usually drops the whole foreclosure thing, and that leaves the villages in the lurch. As Mayor Aaron Kaufman put it, the county couldn't care less about the village's taxes. So the village is hoping to get a little local legal help to do its own foreclosures on those 11 properties. For the property owners, it's kind of like being chased by a very slow monster with lawyers. Oh, a side note, don't blame the village officials for letting these people get away with not paying taxes. According to Mayor Kaufman, it's somehow the state's fault? He didn't explain how that could possibly work, though. And that's it for this week's Off the Record, but there's plenty more in the Reporter, either in print or online. Head over to the-reporter.net. For example, you can read how the county might start tracking visitors via their cell phones to help with tourism. The Delaware and Ulster Railroad, it's coming back after 4 years. There's also New York's ban on cell phones in school, and Colchester, it's thinking about digitizing its cemetery records. And there's plenty more. Until next week, I'm Andrew Kantor. Thanks for listening.